Hey everyone, it is Tuesday, September 9th, 2014. This is Talk to Me Tuesday, number 153. Excuse me. Couple small things to share with you this week. Not as much as I would have liked to, but that's life. Yesterday was supposed to be my sewing day, and I had things that I needed to get done that were more important, believe it or not, than me being able to be out here sewing. And I was thinking of doing some sewing yesterday evening, but to be honest, my craft room is an absolute disaster. The table I used to cut on is covered with stuff, my ironing board is covered with stuff, and the effort to go through moving this stuff with no place to move it to be able to sew was just not in me. So I said I'm going to take the next couple mornings to spend some time doing a little reorganizing, so my next day off I can actually get out in my craft room and do some sewing without going through a bunch of nonsense first. So no sewing this week. My goal though for this month is to actually complete my project bag for my sweater and my 2 PPV blocks, and possibly complete the last of the small blocks that I have in the bunch of different log cabin theme blocks that I was working on. But we'll see what happens. So yeah, little reorganizing over the next couple mornings so that I can actually do some sewing. It would be great. So what do I have to share with you? Well, first off, the first thing I'm going to share is a little creature that comes from a children's show that is UK based. Information I'm getting is this is a show through the BBC. I've never seen it here in the US. Maybe somebody can tell me if they have, but the show is called The Clangers, and it has on it little characters that look like mice, but they're called clangers, and they're really cute. And the first time I actually saw a pattern with these creatures, and even had an idea that they existed, was back many months ago, and it was a pattern that was done in felt. Well, just recently it cropped up on my Facebook page for a pattern that was done using crochet. And I went and I checked it out, and I'm like, oh cool, that's really neat. The person actually calls them moon mice in her pattern. She does not refer to them as clangers, but they are based on the clangers. So I would like to introduce everyone to Clem Clanger. This is Clem. Clem is really cute, I think. Clem is not complete when it comes to clangers. Clem does not have... They wear clothing or armor, something to that effect. Like I said, I don't know the show. I've seen the introduction episode, and I've seen one other episode that I've watched on YouTube, which you can find the clangers there, but I have not watched enough of them to actually get a really good basis on these characters. But I thought Clem was really cute. So, but when my daughter saw her, she said she didn't feel she needed any clothes, but Clem still has her little shoes on her feet. So, but this is Clem. The tail was not included in the pattern, but being a mouse, Clem needs a tail. So, and the hands are really neat. This actually has a thumb and 3 fingers that are worked onto the end of the arms, which is cool. So, but there's Clem. I think Clem's really cool. So if you would like to make a clanger or a moon mouse, I will try and remember to put the link in the description. And if anybody knows anything about these, that would be really cool. The most I can tell you is what I read in the little bit of description they give in the YouTube videos. The next thing I have to share with you is another little creature that is not my pattern, but it comes from a pattern called the Boo Crew. And it's a really neat pattern. It's one basic body, arms, and legs that can be turned into a few different creatures. They actually have 6 different creatures that they make with it. And I'm sure if you really thought about it, you could probably come up with more. But I would like to introduce everyone to Boris. Boris is actually made using Lion Brand Saki sock yarn instead of a worsted weight yarn. Of course, I have to go with the little thin yarn to start off with. But I thought Boris was really cute. Like I said, it's one basic pattern for the body, basic pattern for the arms and the legs. There is pattern there for ears of 2 different sizes. You can make a bat, an owl, cats, candy corn. There's like 6 different patterns that they actually give you more details on. But you can do more than that. So there is Boris. I think Boris is cute. And I just added some little stitches to the face and head, and the little stitches for the mouth, and some safety eyes. And I was thinking of putting ears on Boris, but when Boris got this far done, I said, that's it. Boris is done. I think Boris looks cute as is. So there is my Boris, and once again, you can find the pattern. I'll try and remember to put a link to it in the description. It is the Boo Crew, and both these patterns can be found on Ravelry. So the next thing I'm going to share with you, I don't know how well it's going to show up. I actually did a little video clip separately just in case it doesn't show up correctly here. But it's a channel I'm subscribed to. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the name to it. It is in a different language. When I first subscribed to the channel, the woman who does it used to do 2 separate videos, one in her language and one in English. And I have not, for the longest time, seen the English translation of the videos. So, but I have seen where she has now started to try and teach us her language for like knit, purl, slip, knit, things of that nature, so that we can follow along with her tutorials without her having to translate. So it'll be interesting to learn a different language for knit stitches, purl stitches, and so on. Never know, maybe I can do it, but she does some really beautiful stuff. And like I said, it used to be translated into English. She hasn't done that for a while. But this video actually came up as a recommended video. For a channel I'm subscribed to, it came up as a recommended video. And it's for what's called shadow knitting or illusion knitting. And what it is just using 2 contrasting colors of yarn and the placement of knit and purl stitches, where when you look head on to the piece, you don't see the pattern, but when you tip it at an angle, you actually see the pattern come through then. So this is not her pattern. She did one that was just a little square. This is someone else's, but this is the piece I did, just a practice piece. But when you turn it, that's when you really see the pattern come through. So head on, you don't really see it. But when you look at it at an angle, that's when you see it. And hopefully this is showing up on the video. I'm not sure because I can't see what you're actually seeing. So if when I watch this back I don't see this coming out right, I will include a little clip at the end where you can see it better. But that's head on, and then this is at an angle. So really neat. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Hopefully you'll be able to see what it is. But I thought it was really cool. Really neat little thing to try. The person whose video I watched for this actually showed some scarves that she did with a skull and what looks like a snake coming down. And when you look head on, you don't see it. But when you angle it, it's a really, really neat pattern. So, and I do know there is a book out there for shadow knitting, but I'm not going to purchase a whole book. But I will be looking around to see what I can find. So really neat. So anyway, that's all I really have to share with you crafty this week. Hopefully everything shows up on camera the way it's supposed to. If not, I will be re-recording this, which I'm not really looking forward to doing. But if need be, I will. If the shadow knitting does not show up, please stay tuned at the end and I will just include a little video clip which you can actually see where it shows it better. So before this gets any longer and I get any more tired, I will say I look forward to watching everyone's videos. I do hope everyone has a wonderfully crafty week and a wonderfully crafty weekend. As for me, I'm going to watch this, see how it came out. Hopefully it's good and I can then go get some sleep. As for you, it's good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day, whatever it is. I really do hope it's a great one and I will see you all next week. Bye.